Now let's pass some current through the pencil lead. That way I can measure its resistance. Nowadays everything blows up. Let's kick it up a notch. I'm gonna run 10 amps through a regular pencil's graphite. Wow, this is getting... Oh my god! Whoa! Oh! Let's run 10 amps through this graphite and see how much it glows. Look at this! So these get very hot. Always wear safety gloves to protect your fingers and don't try this at home. Let me see if I can make some arcs. Always wear safety goggles when dealing with very bright arcs. Let's try it again. Nice, look at that. Nice. Am I on fire? Goggles. Look at that, people. Molten. Oh, this glove is not good for this purpose.
The skin here is quite sensitive to temperature and you can tell the temperature quite accurately. It's almost finished now. Just need another piece of wire. Oh, what did I do?
What the f*** did you do?
I'm fine, thanks.
Idiot.
What? The tip of the gun here simulates a human finger. Always be careful with your tools. Because now the board is charged to the same level as the gun and it doesn't jump anymore. But right now I'm touching the wires and I can't even feel it because the voltage is not high enough. Who's this? No, I'm not Steve. Wrong number. And you can see a tiny negative sign beside it. That means that that side needs to be connected to ground or negative. I can generate 20 volts, 150. Well, you see, when I short it, the voltage goes almost. Although this power supply can generate huge amounts of current, it can't send it through my body because it's only set to 20 volts. I can't even feel it on my fingers. I like to put it on my tongue, but before that I have to reduce the voltage to something like 1 volt because, you know, the resistance of the tongue is much smaller than the skin. And still, if I short the power supply, I get the same 150 amps. Okay, you can see it still sparks. Let's try it out. What the f***? I thought I set it to 1 volt. Here's the power supply at 4 volts and I'm going to connect this thin wire to it, and you can see how the wire melts and burns under. If I put the bullet inside the coil and try to turn it on with my power supply here. Well, it's always safer not to work with live loose wire, so instead I'm using these alligator clips here. I put the bullet in and turn the power supply on so you can see what's going on. There you go, you saw what happened. Oh, shit. Let's reduce the voltage level and increase the frequency all the way to 60 Hz. I shocked my ass sitting on these live wires. Always clean up the lab, otherwise something will bite you in the ass. I let it cool down for a while and now the circuit is hot and the voltage is on the now there is nothing to worry about. Now I have replaced the capacitor on my circuit and I'll plug it in. And I measure the voltage. Oh my God! Always be careful not to short your car battery. Now I connected these cables to the battery and all I want to do is to pass them under. If I can just pass these cables under the table here. Nope, it doesn't work at all. Don't touch hot stuff. You can see the lens here, and if I remove the lens, you'll see the giant flash capacitor back here. Ow! Piece of shit!
remember is that there are a lot of bits and pieces and small and large screws that go in a camera. So always remember what goes where and store them nicely to avoid losing them. Now let's take a look at the camera here. How to make an electric guitar? Well, I don't know, but from the name of it, it's just a combination of guitar and electricity. Here's a simple one I made. Please join me for the first time to hear how it sounds. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, this is wild. You can see how far... This gap is quite wide. Let me measure it for you. Let's give it a try. There we go, the charger LED is on. Now it's off. It's turning much harder now. Oh no, 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 no! No, no! I killed the phone! If you need your hands free to use your phone, you can use your kit. Here you go. Crank away.
Why don't you plug it here?
Here's my creation. Let's plug it in. Amazing. Usually shit goes haywire at this point. Oh, I forgot to turn on the... What the f*** was that? I said I'm sorry!
Open the cell phone without breaking anything.
Where the f*** are those Phillips screws?
Try to turn it on and retrieve all the data available. Find and identify the broken chip. Order new part and replace it. Put the phone back together and it would work like a charm.
Blades are broken. If I break two opposite blades, then it will balance. Wrong too. There you go. Good as new. Now to improve the airflow, it's better to raise the lamp. Don't put your hand in a running fan. Anytime you connect a power harness, connect it to your load side first so you wouldn't short your power supply or shock yourself. Easier if I just disconnect that specific room, which I believe is breaker number 3. Now we can safely plug them in. Apparently it was breaker number 2. You need to know how microwaves work. There. Upwards of 2000 volts and feeds it to the magnetron, which resonates and outputs high power waves, and those waves shake the polar molecules, generating much heat. And this is a fan. Start the arc. Holy sh**. Of course, the resistance of this wire is gonna limit the current through the supercap. I totally burned my finger. First, I have to set up a spot for my scope so it doesn't get dirty. Now I disconnect the battery positive to replace it with the capacitor. Let's charge the car battery with these. Now I have to wait till... Now the first thing you need to do is to push the piston back in to make room for the thicker pads. And for that, I use my clamp. It's a simple device. It's a belt that you tie around your belly with a tiny device that senses your motion. As long as you move, you're okay. But if you stop for any reason, it'll zap you like a mother. You will move no matter what, or else you will feel the pain. The device may often false trigger. So you will run until the batteries die or you die. Just kidding, we have never had failed battery. Let's give it a try. Come on. breaker. Breaker. Ooh.
Such a generator outputs an AC voltage. You need a full bridge rectifier first to convert it into DC before converting it into 5 volt using the regulator he used.
Tesla coil. Let's play Pink Panther. My f***ing brain cells! There you go.
Now, as soon as I turn on this,
What the f is this? Ow!
don't try this at home. Now, as soon as
Why?